Do you suffer from debilitating migraines? You know, that throbbing pain in the front or side of your head that's so severe you're unable to work or do anything other than retreat into a dark and quiet room? Have you had them for years and just haven't found a solution? Call Dr. Elizabeth Ebersol and put an end to your debilitating migraines forever. Or go to her website at www.handmadehealth.com. That's www.handmadehealth.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friday Night Glory Report. I'm here with my man, Kenny Matthews. What's going on, Kenny?
What's happening, Mr. Edwards? Mr. Birthday Boy coming up this weekend.
Yeah, another one. Yeah, we don't count them anymore, do we?
We don't. Hey, we just celebrate them. We don't say how old we are.
Yeah. It ain't like it used to be, is it?
No, it's kind of not. The cake doesn't go down near as good as it used to. And we can't get rid of it as quickly either.
Right. And here in a little bit, we're going to have, yeah, that's for sure. Terrence and Peyton are going to join us here in a minute. Let's talk about some games last week. How about that Skyline Keller game and that comeback?
Jeez, yep. What, didn't Peyton do that game? I believe
Yeah.
it was. Yes, that was a shocker, man.
Yeah, 34-32, and I mean, Skyline looked impressive that second half in those highlights I looked at.
Yep, and think about it. Skyline used to be one of those staples of 13-1, 12-2 seasons,
Right.
and
Right.
since Samples has gone over to Duncanville, they've kind of taken a step back. But that's a good statement game for them to come from behind the way they did.
Oh, on the road in Keller. I mean, Keller's tradition in the playoffs every year, pretty much.
And think about the Dallas DISD starting late, so
Yeah.
a lot of them only had one game
Yeah.
or maybe two games under their belt going in. So you'd like to see if Skyline can have some momentum after that for sure.
Yeah, and by the end of the season, you never know.
Mhm.
And then again, I mean, you were at this game. It's not a surprise who won, but let's talk about Heath. I mean, that offense just,
I said it in the pregame assessment last week that I said from top to bottom, just in numbers alone, I don't see how anybody can have how they're not the most talented skill position group when you're talking about three stud wide receivers,
Right.
two stud running backs, a stud quarterback, a stud offensive line, and an offensive tackle that's got a bunch of Power 5 D1 scholarship offers. And then their third string running back comes in a quarter and a half, and he runs for over 100 yards, and he's just a sophomore. I mean, Coach Spradlin's got an embarrassment of riches over there on the offensive side of the football. But the one quick thing I'd like to say is, they took it on the chin against South Lake Carroll on the defensive side 3 weeks ago. But since then, they've only given up 14 points in 2 games. So it seems to be that they're getting some traction defense. And Randy, you and I both know now in high school, you just get a couple stops a game with that kind of an offense, you're going to win.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're going to get a win. If you make them punt 2 or 3 times in a game and get a turnover, that's ball game with that offense.
And winning, I mean, it just changes your mindset. I mean, if you can keep it going, if you're winning at the end of the season, you've got all that confidence going into the playoffs. That makes a huge difference.
Yep. Well, sure will be fun. They're taking on a big animal this Friday. That should be real fun to see how that works out.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but I don't know that I can't remember. I mean, in the last 10 years, I don't remember both of them being this good going
Especially
into that
offensively.
matchup. Yeah.
Especially offensively.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
you had Rockwall's offensive, guys also to that loop, and you're talking about cream from the crim. Man, that's gonna. I have to bring the running shoes for sure come Friday. There's no question.
Rockwall, they really seemed to hit stride last year in the playoffs.
Yes.
Obviously, beating Allen.
Yeah.
They haven't missed a beat. It doesn't seem like this year.
One of the best games you'll ever see in the playoffs. Last year's Allen and Rockwall, and you lose your top 15 player in the nation, in a Jimba Smith to Ohio State, and all we've done is Braden Locke is only throwing for 1,000 yards and 11 TDs already, this year, so, and no INTs. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's just a junior. That's the other thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. He was a sophomore last year doing that. He's just a junior, and they've got a couple of other underclassmen that are really good at their skill position players. So this is not a fluke. Like you said, this is something that's going to be around even next year too.
I kind of wrote down some teams and records, and I'm just going to kind of fire through them, and you tell me. I'm not saying every undefeated team that's out there, but these are teams that maybe you didn't think we're going to have these kind of records coming in. So first of all, let's start with the rest of the boys over there in Frisco, Lebanon Trail.
Yeah, I mean, they've had some big wins already this year too, and I mean, Satch done a great job over there, considering the fact of what they're, school number 15 to come into the loop. You figure that sooner or later maybe the talent pool is going to get dwindled down a little, but it doesn't. But I mean, he's done it the right way. He took his lumps the first year. He came back and he took his lumps and big the second year. They got better at the end of last year, and this year I got to see them scrimmage against Carrollton Newman Smith before the season started. And I was very impressed with them from top to bottom. And damn, this season now they've come out and they're, I mean, as of right now, I mean, they've got to be one of the guys that they're gonna get one of those 4 playoff spots, as long as they stay reasonably healthy, I think.
No, I think so. Well, in their same district, another team, 4-0, Lovejoy.
Yeah.
It's been a while since
they had that quarterback a couple years back that was really good at Lovejoy. They kind of regressed a little bit after he graduated. But yeah, I mean, you talk about two, in the same district. You're talking about 2 really good teams that maybe some of the favorites thought that might be a win before the season started.
Yeah. And then the one I've been talking about, Caddo Mills, 6-0.
Man, you've seen them twice, if I think right, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they had the big impressive win over Pottsboro, at the beginning of, I think that was game number 2 or 3 of this year, if I'm remembering correct. Was that Cato Mills that beat Pottsboro? No, it wasn't. No, I was thinking of something else. But I know that you got to see them their last game.
I know who you're talking about, though. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But I mean, Cato Mills is, they're ranked. I mean, so yes, that's the team that I would not have picked at the beginning of the year to be undefeated. That's for certain.
Yeah.
And their offense is pretty dang on good too there.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was impressed, and they're like creating opportunities, turnovers, taking advantage of it.
Right.
And then
they had a come from behind win when you did the last game, if I'm thinking correct.
Yeah, they were down at half. In fact, they were down in the first half pretty good, like 18-6 or something like that.
Gotcha.
They pulled in at like 18-15 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lake Highlands 3-0.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to judge those schools yet, because I know they had to change their schedules a lot because of COVID and everything. But it's always nice to see Lake Highlands back in the, I mean, especially in our era, they were one of the top dogs, And
they were the top dogs.
So I mean, state championship later, and 2 NFL kickers that kicked about 20 years in the NFL, and Yeager and Phil Dawson. I mean, so they were loaded, man.
He played at Rice. He played 10 years with the Detroit Drive. And
that's right. So I mean, it's rich with tradition for certain, and it's nice to see them kind of kind of like Skyline, get back to, being relevant again and and winning ball games and maybe getting into playoffs, maybe going, having a run in the playoffs.
Right. And then I want to talk about one other team that you brought up last week as used to be one of the top dogs every year in Frisco, and 4-0 Wakeland.
Yeah, I got to see them this past Friday night. Boy, let me tell you, Marty Secord's got a pretty good team, and they've got a very, I think, underrated quarterback, Peyton Lewis. That guy made a bunch of plays with his legs and his arm. He's one of those improvised kind of guys, but he's shifty just enough that he's a pain. You try to contain him in the pocket, but their defense was really good against the Colony. I have not seen the Colony get beat up like that in a long time, especially at home. Colony had the lead early, and then after that, besides an end of the game touchdown for the Colony, man, that game was never in a doubt in the second half. So, yeah, Frisco Wakeland getting back up there to where they kind of belong a little bit. They've been the top dogs of Frisco for over a decade. And
right. I got to bring up one other one that you said before the show when we were talking, is a team that went from 0-10 and is 7-1. You went out there and covered them one game. Sanger Indians. That's impressive.
That is impressive. Coach Smart up there has got those guys buying in. They did lose to Aubrey this past weekend. I kind of thought that may kind of go that way. I mean, Aubrey's really good. I think it's going to be a battle between them and Salina, who's going to win that district. But for any time that you could turn your program around from an 0-10 and start off with a 7-0 record the next year,
nothing to be ashamed of right now, is there?
The Indians are back on the
joining us, Kenny.
Yes.
What's up?
What's happening? Looks like we got a couple baseball guys coming over here.
Yeah, just finished coaching.
We got Peyton Peterson and Terrence Johnson. What's going on, fellas?
What's happening, fellas? I think Terrence is just connecting.
Not much, just chilling today.
Peyton, what game did you what was the game? Not the game you did Friday night. What was the game you did Thursday?
Last Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
It was Skyline and Keller.
That's what you did. Yeah,
we were talking about that game earlier about the comeback.
Man.
Talk about that a little bit.
Woo! Dude, Skyline came out of nowhere in that second half and just dominated, dude.
We got the Skyline alum over here too, So. Did you know that?
Terrence?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big team.
Sorry to interrupt. I just had to.
Y'all hear me?
But they got a USC commit receiver, and man, he just went off in that second half. He had
Davis.
Yes, dude, baller, man, baller. He had 3 receiving touchdowns in that second half, and man, they played tremendous. But one thing that I will say is, it seemed like Keller they got a little too conservative in that second half. I mean, there was possessions where they kept running the ball. In that first half, they were throwing the ball really well, and they just got away from it. And it seems like that they got a little too conservative in that second half, and Skyline took advantage of it. And Skyline's defense too. They played big. I mean, they had 3 picks, and one of them that really got them going late in that game was a big-time pick 6.
Yeah, I saw that in your highlights.
Yes, dude, it was incredible. And, man.
I was sleeping on my alma mater, man. I didn't think they had anything.
Dude, I didn't think they would either. And we were sitting there, we were like, dude, man, this is gonna be a blowout. And dude, they just came out that second
well, that's
half.
what Kenny and I were saying. I mean, kind of expected Keller to win, and
yes,
those second half highlights, Skyline.
Yeah, Skyline did that. They got Mesquite, I think, coming up.
I think anytime you can put Cardinal Davis on your team, you're going to be pretty good, because that former UT commit decommitted.
They all decommitted. They ain't going to have no players.
But we saw him at the Bullet Combine this past summer, and I mean, he showed. Excuse me on this. Yeah, it was at the 7-on-7. I think it was the 7-on-7, Terrence. And we were going to. Yeah, I think it was the 7-on-7 tournament. I mean, he showed out. they are big time than the game that we were watching. And I said, man, that guy can play. So that's
he
not
was good.
surprising at all.
I'll say this: Skyline, they had a quarterback, a different quarterback in the second half, and dude, he could throw the ball a little bit in that second half. I forgot his name, number 10, dude. He threw the ball pretty well, and he look for him to be starting the rest of the way.
I'm gonna have to catch a Skyline game soon. But DISD, they don't let you in, I don't think, huh? With the Corona stuff. I don't think DISD is DISD letting us do games?
I don't think so. Because they're even saying something about basketball, not maybe allowing fans for basketball too now coming up. That's going to come down by the superintendent, I think, next week.
Yeah, he's crazy. In the no side. He came back, left and came back.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Where are you going on Thursday, Peyton?
So tomorrow I'm going to Midlothian to go watch the Hawks of Birdville come into town and take on Midlow. And man, it seems like every Thursday game I go to, I just got one of these tight ones again. And Diggs was talking about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
And seems like that we got the game, and he's right. I mean, it seems like every Thursday game that I have, it's just the game of the week, and it's looking like it will again. I mean, Dave Campbell's got Midlow as 1-point favorites tomorrow, so look forward to be another tight one.
I expect to get. Who was it Birdville played this last week?
Birdville played Crowley, and they won 21-14.
Yeah, I knew you were supposed to be at that game. That's what it was.
Yep.
Kenny, where are you going Thursday?
Thursday, I will be at Euless Trinity and LD Bell. See if LD Bell could stop this, 25 years in a row streak now.
Probably not.
I mean, it's unreal, man.
Hey, I saw Trinity again last week, and, dude, they look good again, dude. I mean, they're running the ball tremendous. They were also playing Boswell, but, man, they're running the ball well.
Yeah, but I don't think they've got what Prosper has.
But didn't they always say that it's not a rival if you don't beat your rival? So I mean, it's been a generation gap here. That's not seen LD Bell win against Trinity now. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if if LD Bell can at least make it competitive. I mean, for the last few years, it hadn't even been really competitive. So I'm hoping for that at least. But hey. They've been playing for a long time, so anytime you can watch them play, that's good enough for me.
Right. Terrence, talk about this Friday. You got a good one.
Yeah, I got a good one coming up. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Colleyville Heritage and Richland.
Yeah.
Rebels 3-0 right now out there in Richland. They making a little noise. They got 2 FBS recruits on the team. Wide receiver, defensive back, CJ Bakerfield. He's an all-district stud. He played both ways of the ball. He's about 6'2", 190 pounds. Tackle good on defense. I think he led the team in tackles last season. And then they got another receiver in C.J. Nelson. So they're both C.J. C.J. Nelson, he's pretty good. To open up district, they was in 6A, I believe, last year. And they moved back down to 5A.
Are you talking about Richland?
Richland.
Yeah, they were 6A last year.
Okay, so they moved down, but they did like kind of back and forth. Like in 2017, they were 5A and they went to the regionals, and then I guess after that they moved up. But yeah, they loaded over there, man. I was looking at the little roster and stats.
They had a really good season that season too.
Yeah, I seen them on one of them high school sports shows. Like, oh, Richland look like they're doing something out there. But they solid, man, over there. I can't wait to see that. The O-line, I think they have an O-lineman named Kingston. Yeah, Kingston Leota. He leads the O-line. They say the O-line is good and solid, veteran O-line. Good running back over there. And I think they went by district last year. They won by district finalists last year. So they beat Timber Creek last week, 45-34. But
and they're
the
both
team that they're
only Heritage is
both on Colleyville undefeated because they only played one game. So
that was Grapevine. They beat Grapevine week 1.
Did you have that game, Kenny?
Well, that was the last game at Globe Park or at Darlington Stadium that opening week. When they played, that was the last game of the night, and they ended up beating their cross-time rivals. But yeah, they had Corona issues on their own, and they had another game that
Yeah.
got canceled after that.
But
Colleyville Heritage. Hey, there's two names you do need to know though, Terrence, for Colleyville Heritage. That's Braxton Ash, the running back for them.
And the tight end.
Yeah, he tight end can play. And then also you got Isaac Shabay, the junior. Yes, wide receiver, very good. They were very impressive, and they last year when I covered them when they beat Birdville last year in the I guess that'll be the regionals last year in the playoffs last year. But Isaac Shabay and Braxton Ash, yes,
They beat
two
regional
real
last
good
year.
players. Braxton Ash is a one-cut guy, goes through the middle. He runs extremely hard. So yeah, Colleyville Heritage, man, they got a nice little team, but like you said, they haven't played in a month.
And then the coaching staff is new. You remember Kirk Martin left for Syracuse for 2 years and he came back.
Yep.
So he got a new coaching staff and the secondary's young.
Kind of a rivalry game. I mean, I know Grapevine and Colleyville are in the same town, crosstown rival deal, but isn't Richland and Colleyville Heritage rivals? I mean,
I would say they pretty much are. They're not very far from each other. I mean, it's kind of, I think Richland and Birdville are more, the rival, or maybe Halton might be their item, because they're kind of all there together. But yeah, now that it's district, it's a whole new ball game now. That's for sure.
well, I thought
That's gonna be a good one. That's a good one.
district when they were 5A before. Is that not right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Who Richland?
And Colleyville Heritage.
Yeah.
When they were 5A before, weren't they the same district?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
They worked before last year's. I think they were before the district line.
2017.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, about 2, 3. Yeah, 2 or 3. What's that? 3 years? That ain't 2020. Got us all thrown off.
Yeah.
We already in millennium.
The same guy. Who's the Richmond coach now? Is it the same coach?
Ged Cates.
Yeah.
Ged.
Yeah.
He. I just remember that game because he got on Twitter and thanked us.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
And everything.
Oh, he has a Twitter.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I think Matt Davison was covering them in the playoffs that year, wasn't it, Randy? I think it
Well,
was.
we got him a few times, but they had never been covered like that where,
Mhm.
the hot, because you didn't see as many people doing highlights back then.
Well, they had the OU starting linebacker played with them then. Deshaun White was with them. And that's when Matt Davison was covering them, got them a couple times. And I knew they kind of blew up on us, a little bit. But, yeah, they're good guys, man. Him and Halton kind of about the same time. We were kind of getting some of their games, and we hadn't covered them before. So,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm looking forward to that. Week 9.
talk about your the game you're doing color for this Friday.
Oh, me. So Friday, Boswell's they're going to North Crowley they're trying to get in the win column this year. I don't think that they're going to get ran over like they did last week against Trinity. Man, Trinity's just such a good ball team this year.
Trinity.
But Boswell, they did lose their QB. He went down. He's going to be out for the next 2 weeks. So they got a senior now coming in at quarterback, but this is also his first year as on varsity. So look for him to go in there and hopefully play well. But their running game did improve a little bit, even though they didn't score at all last week against Trinity. They found a new kid that could run the ball pretty well. He had, I think, about 6 carries maybe for 50-something yards. He didn't play bad at all. It seemed like he had a couple big bursts. So never know. You never know. It is district play, and Ballsville looking to get in the win column. They got a good coach staff over there, and but man, apparently the North Crowley, they got some good athletes on the defensive side of the ball. So
Come on, dog. Oh, I'm sorry, my dog crawling. He want to bite me. I mean, she, my friend, my lady friend, my lady dog, biting on my knuckle over here.
Hey, it's your story, Terrence. You can tell it any way you want.
Look at it. Look, bite them. Look. I'm like, man, I'm trying to pet you. He's trying to bite me. I'm trying to bite her off. You done made Hollywood. Look at you. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Say hi, Steve.
Who's your picks tonight? You making
Tonight?
picks tonight, Terrence? No, the dogs.
Oh, who's your picks? your pick, dog. Stormy, your prime time.
I'm
Hey,
taking on with
Hey, congratulations to Peyton. You did get the call of game. Yay.
I know I did.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get to do another. Maybe I'll get 2 weeks in a row.
Man, I ain't called a game in so long. Let me come join you, Peyton.
Last week was the first week I had there was no worry about COVID. It was awesome. It was beautiful.
You just jinx yourself.
Hopefully not. Hey, I'm not on wood.
You've seen Rockwall and Heath
Yes.
multiple times. I'm gonna let you talk about them. I'm tagging along with Kenny this Friday. And that's
Yeah.
we were saying.
It's going to be a good one Friday night.
Rockwall might lose again. I had them to beat Highland Park. I made a bad mistake.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Rockwall's trying to bounce back after a tough loss last week where Highland Park went in their backyard and beat them pretty good last week, man.
They was on the gas, Kenny, because I was kind of skeptical when Capel gave them a run. I was like, ooh, this defense. And then I'm like, man, I picked them on that with Gossett and them. I went Rockwall. I went against the game. After they see my tweets, like, yeah, right, Kyle, you suck. Like, okay, I'm sorry.
I did the same thing,
I'm
Derek.
sorry.
I really figured that if Capel, which I thought I was kind of worried about them offensively a little bit, where they were able to move the ball against Highland Park as well as they were the week before. And I said, well, man, what is Highland Park going to do against that Rockwall offense?
I thought they were in trouble.
Hey, did you see the tweet?
Yes, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. But yeah, that surprised me. But I've looked up the stats for Rockwall. They've got 3 guys at the wide receiver spots that got 3 TDs, 2 TDs, and 4 TDs. They got 375 yards, 360 yards from Marshall and Johnson. Bays has got 200 yards. And they've got the junior quarterback in Braden Locke that we got to see at the Bullet Combine this past summer. They can explode, but I was telling Randy a little bit before you guys came on, I don't think that they can hang with the Rockwall Heath skill position players. And I think that as Zach Evans said in the interview on Monday, if the Rockwall Heath can stop Rockwall's offense, then I said I don't see how Heath does not win that game and maybe win it by a couple TDs, because I do think that the better defense is probably going to be on Heath's side against I think they have an advantage there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a barn burner.
Field positions earlier.
Yeah. And I think it's I was telling Randy, it's put on your running shoes for that game, because it's going to be high pace, get that ball, put it down and go. And you may get 4 scores and there only be 8 minutes left in the first quarter.
Hey, I don't know how I got every highlight when Rockwall played South Lake Carroll. I have no idea. I was by myself too. I was like, dude, that's
a job right there. That's a life of broadcasting.
Yeah.
Life of sports analyzing. Because I thought Kenny was gonna be with me last. They're like, damn. Highland Park sideline small. Like, man, I think I'm just gonna stay over here. Thank God for this new Note I-20. It can zoom to the other end.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you did. Yeah,
Well,
that was good though.
Y'all
That
got
was
any
good.
shout outs or anything y'all want to?
I don't have no shout out to my dog right here. I done adopted a dog.
Signings, I need to start writing them down as the week goes on, and we'll give the shout out to the people who commit, like all sports, not just football, but because there's been.
Well, I was thinking, the Shager kid from Highland Park, man, he's played extremely well here, considering that he's kind of stepped into one of the, hottest, the Dallas Cowboy. What? I call it the Dallas Cowboy quarterback position. If you stand in, you're a quarterback for Highland Park, they expect perfection, and he's done an extremely good job considering he hadn't taken a varsity snap until 2 weeks ago, and they've only played 2 games, and he's looked very good.
He ready. They got a young one ready too. I talked to him after the game. They got Finn Carwin brother over there catching.
I saw that.
It's another Carwin coach. He said, "Yeah, you know how it is. They sit out and play catch in the yard. So that's you finna get it. They play football like we did coming up with each other in the streets."
Yeah. There's a bunch of those Finnegans. I heard there's like 12 of them.
Yeah, for real.
So,
Oh man, we're gonna have football forever. We'll be 75 years old, still in Friday Night Glory. This is Kenny.
I mean, seriously, we're the high school
Eric
kids.
Johnson.
yeah.
A lot of quarterbacks at Highland Park. I mean, that and the state championships and the record.
Well, I mean, you got to think that that the game that's circle on the schedule is Longview and in Highland Park. Coming up down the road. I mean, that's district game, and that's going to be one heck of a barn burner between two heavyweights. Well, hey man, hey guys, we do appreciate you listening to us here on Friday Night Glory, the Friday Night Glory Report. My main man Peyton Peterson and Terrence Johnson, appreciate you coming in and joining. Appreciate it. Peace.
Go Rays.
Go Dodgers.
Yes. Go Rays.
Kershaw.
Yes.
Come on, Kershaw.